Hi, I'm Eric Edstrom. I'm a novelist and a carnivore, mostly.
I'm JJ. I am a life coach and I have been mostly meat since October 2021.
And welcome to our YouTube channel where we talk about our journey on this way of eating. And today we want to talk about what's really a big topic in the carnivore world right now, and it is the Nick Norowitz Oreo versus statin case study.
Yes.
Have you watched any of the videos with him?
I have. I started with the Dr. Barry video and then watched his video and a couple other
He has
Dr.
been
Baker.
on every carnivore channel.
Now, I know this is a study that we are really hoping changes the world of how we look at cholesterol in general. Yet, for you specifically, you don't fit the lean mass hyperresponder criteria.
No.
Yet, you've experienced extremely high elevation of your cholesterol, your
Yeah.
LDL.
So should I start eating the Oreos or not? Well, the answer is no. No one should start eating Oreos.
No.
But I want to back up a little bit and just talk about the study. He's trying to explore this idea of the lipid energy model, which I'm not going to go into a whole lot. But the idea is that if you've been on a long-term keto or carnivore diet, you've had liver depletion of glycogen.
And yes, and also fat. You don't have much fat on your body.
Yeah,
at
because
that point.
you're lean.
You're lean.
That's what the lean and lean mass hyperresponder is. And so the theory is that in order to provide energy for the metabolism, the liver starts churning out a whole bunch of VLDL and LDL particles show up on your panels as extremely elevated in some people. Now, I've seen Dave Feldman talk about this, and there was sort of this loose estimate that maybe 30% of people who get lean on a carnivore or keto diet end up having this specific phenotype. And of course, it's alarming because many doctors see that high LDL that could be 300, 400, 500 or more, and they're like, this is extremely dangerous.
And a statin is designed specifically to lower LDL.
Exactly.
So that is the next step. The standard of care is to prescribe a statin, get that LDL down.
So the other requirements, though, to be a lean mass hyperresponder, so LDL over 200 milligrams per deciliter and HDL over 80 milligrams per deciliter and triglycerides less than 70 milligrams per deciliter.
So HDL and triglycerides are good. Those numbers are good.
They get really great.
In a lean mass hyperresponder.
But the LDL is terrible. And they don't talk about ApoB, but one would assume that with very high LDL, ApoB would be high because every cholesterol particle has an ApoB on it. Nick Norowitz decided to do this case study on himself because he is a lean mass hyperresponder. He's very lean, if you've seen his videos. And he had used keto to extremely good effect to deal with very chronic gut issues.
Yes.
As I recall. I don't remember if it was Crohn's or whatever it was.
I think it's, yeah.
Ulcerative colitis or
think
something
so,
like that.
yeah.
And it changed his life, but also elevated his LDL. He decided that, well, if I add back carbs, I won't have this liver glycogen depletion, and therefore the demand of my energy system won't be requesting or needing liver from LDL from the liver. So the way he did this is he was like, well, I don't want to substitute the protein for carbs or carbs for protein or fat. I want to stay in ketosis, but I want to supplement with the carbs.
With a carb, yeah.
And he chose Oreos very specifically so that we would have this headline.
He wanted to be very provocative in this.
Because it could have been sweet potatoes, it could have been Wonder Bread, it could have been...
So he maintained
Snickers bars.
his diet overall, except for the supplementation of
Yes.
these Oreo cookies.
He added 12 regular Oreo cookies, not double stuffed.
Very clear, not double stuffed.
Which provided 100 grams per day of additional carbohydrates. So he kept his base sort of keto diet the same. and added the 12 Oreo cookies, which to me sounds like a slippery slope, but for him, it wasn't. But that's a lot more calories he's also consuming. And so he maintained his ketosis. Now, anybody who's done keto knows you can't eat 12 Oreos and stay in ketosis.
No.
He sustained ketosis by adding exogenous beta hydroxybutyrate supplements. So he started with sort of a established 2-week period of this keto. Then he does this Oreo intervention. And the results were he lowered his 384 LDL count to 111, a 71% reduction after Oreo supplementation. So that's pretty astonishing.
71% reduction.
So then they do a washout period of 2 weeks where he goes back to his
I heard it was 3 months.
He gets back up to 421 milligrams per deciliter of LDL-C, and then goes on, under doctor supervision, rosuvastatin, Crestor, of 20 milligrams per day. And he does that, and at its lowest, he gets it down to 284 milligrams per deciliter.
And he did that for 6 weeks.
Is that right?
Yes, he was. So the Oreo diet was about 2 weeks, 16 days.
Okay.
And the statin was 6 weeks.
Okay. And that was a 32.5% reduction. The Oreo supplementation was superior at LDL-C reduction than 20 milligrams of Crestor.
More than double.
Yeah. Now, does that mean he was healthier at the end of the Oreo supplementation? He doesn't assert that at all.
No. As a matter of fact, he said the exogenous ketones did seem to help with his mental state, his mental health, yet his gut did not appreciate the Oreo cookies.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Plus, he didn't add milk. At least I don't know. I mean, I think it was an Oreo cookie has to have milk to go with it. By the way, you eat Oreos, which you shouldn't be eating ever, some people like to break them apart, lick the inside, then eat the out. No. One entire cookie is one bite. You put it in your mouth, then you drink milk, and then you let it start to dissolve. And then you swallow the mushy bolus of Oreo.
We need to agree to disagree on this because, 1, I don't like milk, and 2, I just wouldn't eat an Oreo that way.
Okay, well.
In one bite.
I guess our marriage will survive this dispute.
We can make it. I know we can. Especially since we're not eating Oreos anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to fight over them. Although if you get double stuffed, you should never get double stuffed. But if you did, like sometimes I would make a double stuffed by eating one side of the cookie and then putting two of them together.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. But you can, the same principle applies to double stuffed, and then you have a quadruple stuff.
I don't know if I've tried that. Oh, well.
Don't eat any of that.
Again.
Why are we even talking about it?
Do not eat the Oreos.
That's just a terrible info hazard for all these people who are trying to stay on the path of carnivore and keto. And here I am talking about how to make Oreos even worse. So what does this mean for us? Well, I've been sort of deferring to all the doctors out there who are in the carnivore space, but those who are somewhat skeptical still, because it's really about the lipid energy model. It's not that we should be supplementing with Oreo cookies, nor does it necessarily mean we shouldn't be having statins. Now, I'm off of my statin at this point because I just was like kind of weighing the cost benefit of it. And I felt like it was in the way of me fine-tuning my particular carnivore diet to optimize my blood panels, because I was not getting my HDL and trigs where I wanted them. I'm like, well, let's just get this one variable out of here and see what I can do without it.
So I'm excited just that this model it's an experiment of one, yet I'm excited that it did react the way they wanted it to. They did get the outcome that they were expecting, even though they're trying to disprove it. And just to provide that differing opinion to the medical community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's more work, a lot more research coming up on this. And I think that we're going to be refining our understanding, not only of why certain people have high LDL, but also whether it's risky for everybody or just in people who are already in inflamed states, which we kind of suspect, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
So that's it for now. Let us know your opinions about this and insights.
And if you are a lean mass hyperresponder, we would love to hear from
We
you
wanna
as well.
hear, yeah.
Yes. So
All right.
until next time.
Bye-bye.